It's 3 a.m. Nothing happened. Nobody died. You don't have one real problem right now. But your mind won't stop. Every conversation this week, every bill coming, every wrong thing you said years ago. You've been lying here an hour. You know you need sleep. That's exactly what makes it worse. Now picture your ancestor. 50,000 years ago. Same brain, same cortisol, same adrenaline, except she's sleeping on open ground. Lions within 2 miles. No door, no walls, no guarantee of food tomorrow. And she's asleep in 8 minutes. That's not a guess. It's what anthropologists found studying hunter-gatherers whose lives still mirror our ancestors. They fall asleep faster than you. They wake up less. And in the morning, they don't spend the first hour dreading the day. So here's the real question. Not, why are you so anxious? The question is, what does she have that you don't? You'd think it's simple. No emails, no traffic, no deadlines. Wrong. Her life was shorter, harder, and far more dangerous than yours. An infected cut could kill her. A bad season could starve her. No hospitals. No police. By every measure, she had more reason to be terrified than you'll ever have. So why wasn't she? Because anxiety isn't a malfunction. It's a perfectly working alarm system, just running in the wrong century. Here's how it was built to work. A threat appears. Cortisol floods. Adrenaline spikes. Your body gets fast, strong, ready. Then, this is the part that matters, the threat passes and the alarm shuts off. For her, that cycle took minutes, sometimes seconds. Now look at your life. 100 false alarms a day, an unread email, a notification, a text you're dreading. None of these are lions. But your brain, running hardware built 300,000 years ago, can't tell the difference. So cortisol rises, and never fully drops. The alarm still works. It just never gets the signal that the danger is over. That's chronic stress. And it's quietly wrecking your sleep, your memory, your body. Every day the alarm doesn't turn off, but that still doesn't explain her. Same brain, same wiring. So what protected her? For nearly all of human history, people lived in groups of 25 to 50, and you weren't just present in that group, you were known, not your profile, not the version of you that you perform. You, your fears, your habits, what you sounded like when you were scared. And you had a role the group depended on. Hunter, healer, storyteller, the one who kept the fire alive at night. If you didn't show up, someone noticed within the hour. If your skills failed, people went hungry and everyone knew it. And when something went wrong, you never carried alone. Someone got sick. The group cared for them. A hunt failed. The group shared what little they had. Someone couldn't sleep at 3 a.m. Someone else sat up with them until the fear passed. That was the world your nervous system was built for. Not an open office. Not a city of millions. A tribe of 30 people who would notice if you didn't come home. Then, 10,000 years ago, everything changed. We started farming. We stayed in one place. We began owning things. And for the first time, what you had could be different from what your neighbor had. Status became something you could lose. The future became something you had to worry about in advance. Chronic worry. The kind with no clear ending. Enter human life for the first time. Then came cities. Then factories. Then the phone in your pocket. Each step pulled us further from the thing our nervous system actually needed. Here's what almost nobody tells you. A neuroscientist named John Cacioppo spent 30 years studying loneliness. Not the feeling, the biology. His finding. Chronic loneliness triggers the exact same stress response as physical danger. Your body cannot tell the difference between being unknown and being hunted. So your 3 a.m. spiral isn't irrational. It's your nervous system doing exactly what it was built to do. Sounding the alarm because for 300,000 years, being cut off from your people really was the most dangerous thing that could happen to you. Then we built social media. It promised connection. It delivered comparison. Your brain evolved to track your standing inside a group of 30. Now it's measuring you against a highlight reel of 8 billion strangers who will never know your name. That alarm you've been calling anxiety, your ancestors would have called it something simpler. The feeling of being cast out of tribe. But the tribe wasn't the whole answer. There's one more piece, and it's almost too simple to notice. Every day of her life had a finish line. Wake, hunt, succeed or fail, eat, sleep. The problem was real, and by nightfall, it was over one way or another. Anthropologists who study the last hunter-gatherer groups on Earth see this exact pattern today. Leave camp, hunt for a few hours, come back with meat or without it, and by even the question is answered either way. No open loop stretching into next month. No uncertainty carried into tonight's sleep. You live in the opposite world. Your mortgage resolves in 30 years. Your career in 40. Your inbox never actually empties. Your brain treats every one of those as an unfinished threat. Because to your nervous system, uncertainty is just as dangerous as a lion. Scientists have actually measured this. People facing a guaranteed bad outcome show less stress than people facing an uncertain one. Your brain would rather know than hope. And there's one last piece almost nobody mentions. She moved constantly, walking to hunting grounds, tracking, carrying kills back to camp, gathering across miles of open land. That movement was an exercise. It was how her body burned off the stress chemicals her brain had just released. Proof to her nervous system that the danger had passed and she'd survived. By the time she lay down at night, her body had already told her brain 100 times that day, "We made it." You get the same cortisol spike from an email. Then you sit, motionless, for hours. The chemicals never get burned off because the fight your body prepared for never happens. Your body has been sitting in a chair for 9 hours. It has no idea if you made it. So here's what she actually had that you don't. People who knew her completely. Problems that ended. A body that moved through stress instead of sitting inside it. And meaning she could see. When she came home and fed 30 people, she never had to wonder if her life mattered. She watched it matter. That same day, you have more safety, more food, more medicine than any human who ever lived. And less of nearly everything your nervous system was actually built to need. Your anxiety isn't proof that you're broken. It's proof your alarm still works perfectly in a world that stopped giving it what it needs to switch off. So here's what the research actually says fixes this. And it's not productivity, not a meditation app, not just think positive. A researcher named Breen Brown studied this for decades and found something almost absurdly simple. The people with the lowest anxiety weren't the most successful or the most optimistic. They were the people with at least one relationship where they felt completely known. Just one. Your ancestors never spent a single night without that. Not once. In 300,000 years. You don't need to rebuild a tribe. You need one real conversation with one real person where you tell them something true about how you're actually doing. Your nervous system has been waiting 10,000 years for you to do exactly that. Not a post. Not a status update. Not a message to someone you haven't actually spoken to in 3 years. One real conversation. The door is still open. The only question is whether you keep running software built for a world that no longer exists, or finally give your brain the one thing it was built to recognize. Not safety, not comfort, not fewer problems. Just one person who actually knows you.